So guys, we had the leak today, and one of the leaked vehicles, right, was the SU30 MK2, right? The Venezuelan, I think it is, how you guys pronounce it, but yeah, SU30, which is pretty interesting actually. Unfortunately, they are saying that it's gonna be a pack premium. So let's take a look on what this aircraft is actually. What is it, right? What is the actual differences between the SU30 SM that we have and this SU30 MK2? So in the game, we have the SU30 SM over here. So let's compare this MK2 to this aircraft, okay? So the first thing that you have to understand is that the MK2 is a more exported model, a little bit more or less advanced, okay? It will be less capable than the SU30 SM, okay? Especially because it is a premium, of course, right? The Venezuelans actually have a pretty interesting idea with this vehicle, but in a general perspective, it is a very, very, downgraded SU30 SM, okay? So the first thing is that instead of having this good old N011M, which is a PESA radar, passively electronic scanner array radar, which is, one of the best technologies out there of how radar should work, he actually uses a N001 VEP. What that means is that it is the exact same radar that you find on the SU27 SM. So instead of having a PESA radar, it will be the exact same radar from the SU27 SM, okay? Another thing is that although it does have the extra weight of the SU30, right? So it will be placed just like the SU30 SM is. Obviously, it doesn't have the canards, so it will have a little bit less maneuverability because of that. And instead of using the AL31FP engines, which produce more thrust and are thrust vectoring, they use the normal AL31F. So it's basically a combination of the flankers that we have in the game. You will see no canards, just like an SU27 over here. The same engines from the normal SU27S model, which is this one, like SU27S, not the other word, right? But with the radar, that it's a little bit better than this, with the radar from the SM, okay? That's the basic idea of the vehicle. So the fuselage of the SU30 SM without the canards, with the radar of the SU27 SM, and the engines from the SU27S, which is the initial one, okay? That's the basic thing. So what about weapons? Weapons will be very, very similar to what we see over here. So there's some things that need to be considered. For example, the KH-31A, KH-31P, KH-29, KH-35, all of these missiles and bombs are, and the KAB 500 bombs are used on it. So it might be, very similar to what we have in the SM over here. So you will see the KH-29s, you'll see the KAB 500s. We still don't have the KH-31, but we'll probably see it in the future, right? So in a general perspective, it will look like an SU-30, but at the end of the day, it is very similar to the SU-27 SM on the regards of air to ground. On the regards of air to air as well, right? Because you will have the R-77s, R-27s, R-73s, the normal missiles that you see here. I would assume that since it's a premium, we will not see the R-77-1 on this variant, right? And it will probably be a 13.0, probably 13.3 vehicle, I would assume. Because at the end of the day, if you take a look on all the flankers over here, it will be basically a heavier Su-27 SM with weaker engines. So you can imagine that, heavier and weaker engines, it means, the acceleration of the flankers is already pretty bad. So imagine like an Su-27 over here, or you can even consider that, a normal Su-27 like this, but with extra weight and a different, more modernized radar. That's kind of what it is at the end of the day. There are even some suggestions, some reports apparently that they don't even normally have the helmets working, okay? So I don't know how much that is propaganda or if it's true, right? But basically, apparently there is no helmet mounted sight in most of the Venezuelan, I don't know, units, okay? But I don't know if that is correct or not, but probably we'll have it in the game, okay? And that's it, guys. This is the SU30 MK2, a vehicle that will be pretty interesting. Like I said, I would assume that it like if it is an SU27 SM that is heavier and weaker on the engine, it means that it will probably be a 13.3 or 13.7 vehicle. You know, the SU34 became 13.7 as well, right? And now we have the 14.3 as the max BR, so it would be fine probably at 13.7, but let's be honest, it might be more of a 13.3 than anything else, okay? Expect it to be the first rank 8 premium, right? Because the US has some, the Germans receive it, the British have some, the Japanese, the Chinese still don't have it, which would also be a good option for them, the MKK, right? The Italians have one, the French don't have one, the Swedish have one, and the Israelis have one. So only basically what? The French, the Chinese, and the Russians still don't have a rank 8 premium, right? So it will probably be added as a rank 8 premium, 13.0, 13.3, or 13.7 in BR, okay? Very interesting aircraft. Unfortunately, it will probably be a premium, okay? So this is what you should expect from the new SU30, the MK2. I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and bye guys, see ya.